What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over how to win Ghost of Tsushima Rivals mode. So obviously, this is the new mode for Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and there's a fair amount of stuff that goes on here while also being relatively simple. So I want to try and go over some of the best tips and tricks kind of things that I have seen to try to give you guys the best chance at winning. First thing I will say, so jumping kind of right into it, this is a game of teamwork. This a lot more, I would even argue, than any of the other modes Legends has. I was playing it not while talking to anybody, not, like with anybody that I knew, so it was definitely harder, and that was made very, very apparent, because a lot of the game does have to do, I would say, with teamwork, so just keep that in mind, I would say, as this video goes on and as you're playing it, right? I would say, sticking with that idea, playing with your teammate is about as good of an idea as you can do. Splitting up, I guess, would kind of work, depends on how fast you can kill people without, the help of somebody else, but I found the most success when we kind of double team pretty much every enemy, or at least the bigger enemies. When you're double teaming them with your teammate, it makes it a lot easier to go through it fast, because another, obviously thing you should know about this, it's about taking out as many enemies as fast as you can. That's really the entire goal, to get to then the final 3 almost rounds when you have to kind of stay in an area and just take out the enemies that come. But for the most, the first like 60-70% of the match is taking out enemies and collecting the money resources that they use in this mode, right? It's doing that as quickly as you possibly can. And again, the best way I found is to stick with your teammate and go as quickly as you can, which normally means double teaming enemies. There is the currency floating around. There's normally, I would say, anywhere between like 3 and 6 in a map where you don't have to take out anybody to get it. Those are free. Those are very, very easy to pick up. So make sure that you're doing it. The next thing that you guys should probably know, or maybe you've already known, right, if you're playing it, you're trying to sabotage the other team. And you do that with the currency. You get currency. It's unique to you. So like the currency your teammate picks up is not the same currency that you pick up. And then you can buy perks that don't help you. In fact, no perk, I think, actually helps you. It hurts the other team, makes life a lot harder for the other team. There are other ways of doing it. One way is there's 3 captives, I believe, per area, at least the first area. I'm for sure on that. And if you free them in your little area that you're able to explore, their ghost will attack the enemy, slows them down, a little bit of a harder enemy. That's the main point. I would say the 2 things you need to know, if you're just going into this completely blind, is you try to go as quickly as you possibly can, right? You go fast, you take out as many enemies, you try not to die. I mean, dying doesn't set you back too badly unless it's the final rounds when you're trying to like capture an objective. Dying there definitely hurts you, but if it's just in a normal thing, dying isn't the worst thing possible, but it just slows you down, and you're trying to do it as quickly as possible, and you're trying to sabotage the other team. I found the better things to use against the team is probably health drain, where it like slowly kind of ticks away at their life, or any kind of shade where it blocks their ability to buy things. And that normally comes in, I guess there's like an elite version of that where like a pretty powerful enemy is blocking it, and then a not so powerful version where not so powerful enemies are blocking it. But I found that one particularly useful, and also was used against me quite a lot. I will say this in terms of a tips or trick thing. One of the main things you can actually use is the kind of like raining fire from above. And I think it's 10 points. It could even be 15, but it's in the higher range of spending your money. There's 5s, there's 10s, there's 15s in terms of perks that you can buy. The fire one, I like it. But at the same time, I actually try to use it for my advantage. So I guess, again, like a tip or trick is if you're getting it against you, it will hurt the enemies. It doesn't just hurt you. So if you're gathering the enemies up in a nice little circle, right, and then the fire, ring circle kind of appears, as long as you get out of it, it's going to do a very good amount of damage to the enemy. So the first couple rounds I played, I bought it, my teammate bought it, like we used it against them, but I just found as it was being used against us, I actually feel like it's almost more of a benefit. Under some circumstances, it can absolutely hurt. If you're stuck, if you can't get out of that circle, it definitely hurts you. And so there is like a risk-reward kind of thing there, but it could also very easily help you take out your enemies that you're actually facing, which is actually a good thing, not a negative thing. So that's pretty much it. It's a grind of taking out enemies as quickly as possible, which means using the right stances, using your abilities. I found the most success when there are obviously several different variations of if you're one class and your partner is the same class or a different class. There's a lot of combinations you can use there. Multiple times I was the samurai, and I think it's the mate, whichever one is the one that heals you, right? That one was pretty successful because you do have somebody that can constantly almost, be buffing you in terms of heals. There was a round where we were both samurai, and it was a pretty fast-moving round. We actually, I believe, got to capture the objective area quicker than the team, whereas the other ones, actually, we were kind of behind the 8 ball. So it depends on, I wouldn't even say it's the most important, because I do think any combination has advantages, and as long as you use that, you know what I mean? If you're one class, your partner is another class, whether you're talking to them or not, make sure you're taking advantage of what both of you can do. And as long as you're doing that, you should be pretty darn good. It shouldn't matter all that much, but it is a skill game of taking out enemies as quickly as you can. So you want to be using all of your abilities. Your partner, you want to be keeping that health up as much as possible. You want to try to not die, which I completely failed at, but you want to try to not get down. You want to try to not die just in general. Again, that kind of takes time. And the longer you're downed, and when you come back to life, if you both die, you lose a currency each time. So that's something, you lose one here, you lose one there. That could be the difference between something that slows them down, the other team down a little bit, and slows the other team down a lot of bit, right? So it's something just to kind of keep in mind. So let me know if there's any other things maybe I missed, or any other kind of tips or tricks, things that you guys found while playing. Make sure, if you haven't already, you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. I mean, I'm loving this. I'm playing it like crazy. I'm hopefully going to be continuing, over the weekend. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter or subscribe to my second channel, I also have Patreon and YouTube memberships if you guys want to support us there. All the links for that are in the description below, okay? Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.